Brian, good morning, sir. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Mr. Gallo, it's always a pleasure to say, how are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. Congratulations on the Wednesday deal. Has it turned out like you thought it was going to turn out? Are you okay with that?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. Obviously, any chance we have to expand what we're talking about with sports and with Mississippi State, I want to be a part of that. So very, very exciting. I'm enjoying it.
Well, I noticed that, and I've mentioned this on the air, there are a lot of women who are contacting you because they just think you're a sex pot. And I mean, it's kind of taken off there, and I'm glad we're not. It's just amazing.
I'm glad we're not like on a speaker system here right now because my daughter's running late to school. She's sitting right over there. We don't need her to hear all that.
Well, no, Daddy's sexy, so that's okay. I mean, that's fine. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Listen, and the other two guys on the Sports Talk, they just have to live with it. I mean, come on.
I'm with you.
Either grow a beard or shut up. I don't know. What can you tell them?
That's what I said. This is why you are the Southeast's most, the greatest political pundit we have. Because you speak the truth.
I'm a great observer. Yes, that's it. I'm a great observer. People wouldn't normally say that, but I just want to put it out there because they know it's truth.
I needed that boost this morning.
Well, they have to deal with it. And don't worry about it. You just keep doing what you're doing. Let's talk football. But before we get to that one, and on a serious note, I know it's been a terrible, terrible week. The story reads, and I was just reading one of the stories that found the body of 18-year-old college football player Sam Westmoreland after being called out to a church. The church was Blackjack Missionary Baptist Church. This was this week. Anything that you want to add into this? Because I know you guys touched base with us yesterday, and you come from a closer perspective than I do. So the microphone's yours.
Just anytime a life is lost, it's a tragedy. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about a 18, 19-year-old kid, life still in front of them, it hurts especially more. And as a parent, the idea that your child could be taken from you is a pain I can't even begin to imagine. So, obviously from a personal perspective, we all of our thoughts and prayers are with his family. I've talked to some of the friends of the family, and they all say great people, good kid, bright kid, and this is just something that's just very, very sad. And then from a football perspective, for Mississippi State, already a massive challenge to play Alabama this weekend, and now with this weighing on them, honestly, Paul, just to go up there and play this game is kind of a victory in and of itself. Whatever happens on the field happens, but to get through this week with this kind of adversity will be good for Mississippi State, just to get through it.
And there were so many things in this whole equation there that you're left with people who knew him, his teammates, his family, his friends, who knew the guy. He was just a hell of a guy. And it's one of those things too. You and I know you guys probably touched base that there was some. Is it go back to, we know it was no foul play, and I guess openly people understand that there was an issue with depression, or have we confirmed that, or do we know?
Nothing's been confirmed by the family or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and then when you start talking about that, you don't know if what it is, so you don't want to speak too early about that one. But it's just a terrible loss for the people who knew him, and even the people who don't know him. But you just.
I said on the show and I said on the podcast, I wish I had known this young man better so I could better tell his story a little bit. But everyone that we've talked to has talked about what a great person he was, and he will be dearly missed.
Well, I think you put it in the right perspective. How in the world do you go over there and play? I think even the coach said, look, if you guys want to practice that day afterwards or not, was so discombobulated. You just need sometimes just sit in silence and meditate.
Yeah. And like you said, Mike Leach did make practice optional to his players yesterday. I'm not sure what the turnout was for that, but they've got a lot of their weighing on them, and they got to go play Alabama.
I did notice in one of the stories he had been through this before, as far as Mike Leach, the coach, had been through this in another job.
Yeah,
And it's not an easy thing to do.
At Washington State, yeah. And this is a little bit – epidemic's a strong word, but, I mean, Mississippi State has had 3 players pass away during the season in the last 12 years. You know, Ole Miss has suffered tragedies across the country, you know, and it's a tough story to tell.
Setting our sights on this Saturday tomorrow, how do they do it? What do they do? What's your view on this game?
I'll be honest with you. Even before the Kentucky game, I thought this was a game State didn't have much of a chance to win. And then when they played at Kentucky, I was like, okay, no chance. And now you add all this on top. I mean, it's just about getting through for Mississippi State. I'll tell you, you know, in year 3 with Mike Leach, if we woke up Sunday morning and State had lost by 40, I would have been, you know, like, hey, why in year 3 are you not better? Why are you not closer to Alabama? This week, I feel like I'm going to touch it with kid gloves, to be honest with you. I don't know how critical I can be of what I'm going to see on the field Saturday.
When you go back and you look at last week's game, do you think they underperformed? To be honest with you, it was just sloppy. Yeah. Right out of the gate, and it just never. They were never able to recoup after that.
No, you're absolutely right. They from the start of the game played poorly on both sides of the ball. Defensively, gave up way too many yards. Defense played okay. They played enough to win. Offensively, though, 225 yards, only 10 points scored. You just can't do that. And when you have Mike Leach as your head coach, you don't expect to lose games in that way. You know, you expect to lose games 45-42, not because you can't score at all. So,
what's the biggest letdown on your part? Is it maybe the coach or Will, the quarterback, or just a combination of different things? It's
a combination thing, but I'm a guy that, you know, the buck starts with the guy you're paying $5.5 million a year to. You know, it's his job to go out and find a way to win. And I thought the offensive game plan, and I'm not a person that's going to be like, oh, I know more than Mike Leach. I don't. But I can watch the results, and the results were bad. State couldn't get anything going offensively. They didn't try to run the football as they had the past couple of weeks when they've been successful. Rodgers couldn't push the ball down the field. They were getting pressure. Just a total breakdown offensively.
I think what you related as far as giving everybody a bye on this weekend, who knows? I mean, wouldn't it be something if they won the game?
It would be a story that would dominate the national headlines.
Absolutely. What about Ole Miss coming up with LSU? What's your thoughts on that game?
You got a quarter? We'll flip it. I'll tell you who's going to win.
Really?
I mean,
you think it's even Stevens, huh?
I think it really is. I think LSU got a little shot of juice last week, and I think that Ole Miss is playing as well as anybody in the SEC. I mean, they're leading the SEC. If the season ended today, they'd go to Atlanta. They know what's on the line. Kiffin's coaching as well as anybody in the country, Dart in that running game. But being at LSU and LSU having a little momentum after last week, it's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight football game, I think.
Switching over to the Saints, I think a lot of people have just gotten off the wagon on that one. It's just like, we knew it was almost like a rebuilding year with a new coach and no quarterback. But what happens there, man?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, they don't even have a first-round pick. They traded him. They traded that away last year. That would be the number 4 pick in the draft right now. They could get a quarterback. Yeah. But
there are some people who want to bring back the paper bags, but I don't know. Maybe as bad as they are plastic this time. Yeah. Well, but might need plastic.
Yeah,
it's good.
Don't do plastic. That'd be bad.
To you. Yeah, always. I appreciate it. We'll be looking forward to the wisdom coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it, sir.